Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is the next step in solving a trig problem, and that's setting up your trig ratios. So let's just do a quick review of how to label our O, A, and H. So we're talking about, in this case, the 53-degree angle. So across from the box is your hypotenuse, across from the right angle. Across or opposite the angle is your O, which makes this one your A. So let's set up these trig ratios. So if I want opposite leg over hypotenuse, then I'm going to put the number that's labeled the O, which is 4, and then the hypotenuse is 5. Adjacent 3, hypotenuse 5. Opposite 4, adjacent 3. Okay, so I filled in the bottom things, and we're going to figure out what are our trig ratios. So we said that the opposite leg over the hypotenuse was 4 divided by 5. Well, that as a decimal is 0.8. So which trig ratio is 0.8? And we can see that that's sine. So these go together. So that means, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, that our sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Our cosine matches with adjacent over hypotenuse. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent matches with opposite over adjacent. And these are your trig ratios, and you have to memorize them. And we do that by saying so, ka, toa. So, ka, toa. Okay? You have to memorize this. So what I would get in the habit of is every time that you start a new problem, you write out so, ka, toa. Okay, so let's go over an example, and then we'll be finished. So it says, what are the sine, cosine, and tangent ratios of angle H? So angle H is already indicated, but if it wasn't, you would indicate the angle. First step, label your O, A, and H. So across from the box is your H, across from the angle is your O, and the side next to the angle is the A. Second step, write out so, ka, toa. All right. So if we want sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to go over here. My opposite is 12. My hypotenuse is 15. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So my adjacent is 9. And my hypotenuse is 15. And then tangent, my opposite is 12, and my adjacent is 9. And these are my trig ratios. Now, sometimes they might ask you to reduce it, and if they asked you if it said like in simplest form, this would be, let's see, 3 and 3, 4 over 5. 3 over 5, 4 over 3. However, when you're starting to solve for sides and stuff, you don't have to do them simplest form. All right, and that's it. So now go to the next sections and start setting up your trig ratios.